Hello and welcome to this presentation about transforming fears. My name is Rolf. I'm coach and mentor for transformational processes, and I'm here near Brisbane in Queensland, Australia. So what is fear? Well, from my point of view, from my understanding, is every time you're not at peace or you're upset or any other emotion you might experience, fear is in the driver's seat. And we are on autopilot most of the time. They are actually triggering unconscious habitual response patterns. You can also look at them in an energetic way when we can say it's an energetic friction or standing wave forms. They are fear-based resistance patterns. Like, for instance, if you look at or come from shame, guilt, regret, or even pride, that sort of points us towards memories, so we call it the past. Or even expressing worry, anxiety, expectations, attachment to outcomes. They are pointing towards an imagined future. So every time we come across those experiences in our lives, we are in what we can call shadow territory. So the only way out is in, out of shadow, out of fear, is going within. And what I mean by that is the best service you can render to humanity is to recognize the true nature of your being by going within. So what is actually shadow work? Well, I call it also self-inquiry, inquiring deep into my own being. It's a work of curiosity, of really looking, and it's a work of love, if you want. It's honest and clear seeing and sensing without interpretation or stories. And shadow work is actually liberation. It's transcending or ending the trance of a seeming fearful, isolated, and suffering self. And essentially, it's the end of resisting and the end of seeking. The end of resisting what is and the end of seeking what is not. It's not done overnight. It's an ongoing process which will lead to a shift in perception and a shift in identity. So what does transforming fear mean? Well, essentially, it means growing up, waking up, and showing up. Coming to a capacity to see reality from the next higher level of consciousness, a more inclusive realization, seeing and sensing through a wider lens. Now, growing up means moving from an egocentric, like it's all about me, to an ethnocentric, it's about us, our clan, our group, to a world-centric, it's all of us, all of humanity, to actually cosmocentric, it's all of life, view of reality. And I borrowed those terms from Ken Wilber. Waking up means softening the focus of the content of our experience to finally realize that which is aware or knows our experience. And showing up is then finally, from my point of view, from moment to moment, embodying this aware presence, and herein lies our freedom. So what is the purpose? The purpose of transcending fears or shadow work? It's about raising awareness about our core beliefs that are running and actually also ruining our lives. It's about cultivating a vibrant awareness of our true nature, of our own being, our innate wholeness and worthiness, and shifting from identifying oneself as a separate body-mind, separate self, towards knowing oneself as transparent, unlimited, ever-present awareness. As I said before, it's about releasing resistance and ceasing the seeking, the searching, the calling of the search, if you want. Basically, it's also about owning our projections, because our experiences are always a reflection of our own projections. Apart from an archetypical genetic coding, we take on limiting beliefs about ourselves at an early age. And often, without realizing, these beliefs drive our suffering. And I have identified with my work 3 main collective shadows or core beliefs as the root cause for our fears, triggers, and upsets. And I call them victimhood, separation, and forgetting. Now, the first one, we want to move from victimhood to a sense of freedom, to be free. We need to shine the light of awareness of the shadow of victimhood. And that is based on the belief in powerlessness, feeling powerless and identifying as a victim of circumstances. And we're usually projecting this in the form of blaming and complaining. It's always someone else's fault, and we don't like what is happening. The next one is we want to move from the sense of separation to the sense of oneness. And here we need to shine the light of awareness on the shadow of separation, which is based on the belief in fragmentation and isolation. This comes with a sense of lack and inadequacy. Not good enough, not having enough, not enough time, not enough recognition, not enough friends, not enough money, you name it. So we're usually projecting this in a form of resisting and seeking. Resisting what shows up in our experience and seeking something that is not here yet. That keeps us out of our sense of peace. And it creates our suffering and fear. That's the basis of our fear. All those 3 victim states, shadow states. And the next one, we want to move from forgetting, what I mean here is forgetting who we are, towards an awakening to our true nature. We shine the light of awareness on the shadow of forgetting that is based on the belief in materialism, and that we believe we share the limits and the destiny of the body or the mind. It's believing that life begins with the birth of this body and life ends with the death of this body. But is this really true? Now it's a question for deep inquiry. So we're usually projecting this in the form of attacking and defending, because the body wants to feel safe and secure. So we need to defend its safety and sense of security, and even attacking. Attacking is a form of defense. So there's a process I worked out and a practice I want to lead you through. In order to get started, we need to prepare. So I hope you are ready to engage in the practice of transcending fear and do some shadow work. So create a time in a space where you are undisturbed. I'm pretty sure you are here now and doing that already. So when I ask some questions in a moment, drop out of your mind. Allow yourself to become still. Take a deep breath, maybe 2 or 3. Become aware of impulses that emerge out of a deep, silent space within. If you want, you could grab pen and paper. You could even write down what emerges. And what emerges could be memories, images, ideas, impulses, or feelings. Just go with it when I guide you through it in a moment. And don't judge what arises. What shows up, shows up. So let emerge what wants to emerge. Let it unfold in its own time. And we contemplate and sit with one question at a time for a brief moment. Stay open, relax, and also notice any form of resistance or judgment. So I mentioned before our three main fear-based shadow aspects: victimhood, separation, and forgetting. Or the projection as blaming, complaining, resisting and seeking, and attacking and defending. So for now, I want you to pick your trigger. Pick something that happened in your life today, yesterday, a week ago, it doesn't matter. And I'm pretty sure when you go through these examples here, you have picked already one. Something already showed up. So stay with that, just as an example. Could be anything: blaming, complaining, resisting, seeking, attacking, or defending. Take one experience in your life as an example to work with for now. So once you picked your experience where you felt out of peace, where you felt triggered, just keep that in mind for now. Right? Keep that on the forefront of your mind. So might start some music. Oh, that didn't work. Anyway, we'll do without music. So the first step is acknowledging. We need to recognize that we have been triggered in order to disrupt any reactive patterns. That includes a pausing and a sense of mindfulness. So just take a deep breather and breathe out. You stay with your example. It's about recognizing that you are triggered and that you're not at peace, that you're feeling upset, and that fear was in the driver's seat. That is interrupting our patterns, our habitual patterns. We want to pause and stop for a moment and really acknowledge that we are not at peace, that we are fearful. And through pausing and mindfulness, we create a distance between what shows up or has shown up and a possible response. Just look and acknowledge. There's no judging or feeling bad about yourself, about a possible response that occurred in the past with your particular experience. Just look. Just let it unfold in your mind. Breathe and observe. Allow and accept. It is what it is at this moment. No blaming, no complaining, no resisting what arises, what shows up right now, and not seeking something different or defending or getting ahead of yourself. So that is the first step. When something occurs or has occurred, you acknowledge it. Now the next step is we need to uncover what happened. So let's go a little bit deeper. So we want to uncover, we want to become aware of what happened, like thoughts, feelings, sensations, perceptions. And this is about clear seeing and clear sensing. Maybe something happened in the field of your perception. I call it the world. So pay attention what you have seen, what you perhaps heard or felt. Don't make a story of it. Just stay with what you've heard or seen or felt. Don't try to explain it just with the raw experience. Don't come up with excuses. Just acknowledge and uncover that there was just something that you have seen or heard or felt that has triggered within you the experience of fear or feeling upset or something else. It doesn't matter. Just stay with that. Perhaps you notice some thoughts or images. Let's call it the mind. So pay attention to your thoughts and images. And realize those thoughts and images are your thoughts and images. It's all about your stories, your beliefs, your sense of right or wrong, and your reactions, your sense of guilt or shame or worry or anxieties or expectations or attachment to outcomes. Just notice what happened in your mind. Just stay with that. Now even go a little bit deeper and uncover what happens in your body. Pay attention to feelings and sensations. Perhaps you feel something in your stomach when you think about that particular experience. There are bodily sensations, and attached mostly are, feelings like being upset or angry or things like that. They usually come together, sensations and feelings. So just stay with what arises in the body. What are you feeling? What are you sensing? Is it perhaps feeling familiar? Are there perhaps more than one feeling and sensations? What is the strongest one? When did those feeling sensations arise first? And again, no conclusions or interpretations, just be with what is. But clear seeing and sensing. The next step is about what I call realizing. So here we need to look for the I, for the me, the sense of I that is upset. Now here's the trick. Look for the I without referring to a thought. Is it difficult? Can you find it? Or is being upset just another thought that says, I don't like it. I don't like what happened. I just don't like it. Shouldn't be. Which is another thought. So look again, where is the I, or what is the I that is feeling upset without referring to thought? Can you do it? So this is what I call self-inquiry. Inquiring into the true nature, inquiring into that which is aware of an experience. Now, when I ask you the next questions, or the next question, like, do thoughts, sensations, feelings, and perceptions come and go? The answer is obvious. Of course, they come and go, they change, they never stay the same, right? So what is it that is aware of your thoughts, your images, your sensations, feelings, and perception? What is that? That which is aware or knows my experience or your experience. We call it I or me. Is that coming and going? Is that changing? Well, if you are honest, you could say, no, that never changes. that which is aware. It's an aware presence, which we so often overlook. We're so entangled in experience and thoughts and feelings, sensations and perceptions that we overlook that aware presence in which all experiences arise, by which all experiences are known, and ultimately out of which all experiences are made. So what is the nature of that which knows you experience? Is that even in time and space? Can we point towards it or just get a sense, a feeling for it? Take a deep breather. Get a sense again for your experience that you're working with, the thoughts, the images, sensing, sensations, the feelings, the perceptions, the thoughts, the images. And that all encompassing or all ever-present sense of awareness, that knowing awareness. Now, the next step I call forgiving. Here, what I mean is not forgiving for someone for what happened or what you've heard or someone has done. It's about forgiving yourself that you have lost track of that which knows your experience or is aware of any experience, and forgetting yourself for getting lost in that experience and identified with roles, ideas, beliefs, concepts, expectations, fears. So it's about forgiving ourselves that we've lost our way, we've lost our peace. Take our projections back to ourselves. There's no one to blame, nothing to complain, nothing to resist. Of course, practically, if we need to do something, we do something. I don't mean that by that. So, forgiving my interpretations or your interpretations of your experience that has triggered you. That reminds me of one or two lessons in the Course in Miracles. One of them says, I'm never upset for the reason I think. It says exactly that. I'm not upset about what happened out there. I'm upset because of my interpretations. And I've lost track of who I really am. And I got entangled in my experience, in thought. And the next one was, I have given everything I perceive, everything I think, I feel, all the meaning that it has for me. That is based, of course, on our conditioning and beliefs and upbringing. That's all good. Just a realization that I give everything I experience the meaning that it has for me. And also, there are no small upsets. They are equally disturbing to my peace of mind. So that helps me, prevents me from overlooking little upsets. No, everything has meaning. Everything I experience has the opportunity for me to reflect and to become aware of that which is aware of my experience, of that which I really am, that which never changes. So it leads us to the final realization that all I really am is unlimited, ever-present awareness. And forgiveness is about forgetting that. And no one or nothing or anyone can do or say nothing anyone can do or say can change the truth about you. This is who you are. How do you feel now? Just get in touch with what's happening within you through this practice. And the final step, step number 5, I call cultivating. Out of this practice, and if we do that often and often, we can come to the conclusion that really we can have a sense of gratitude for triggers and upsets. I call it the pull of grace, a knock on our shoulders to pay attention, to be aware, to go through those steps, to do some shadow work. Because any triggers of feeling upset or any fears present you with another opportunity to practice the release of resistance and remember who you really are, and stopping you or waking up from identifying with the fearful separate self. Right? And the realization that happiness or deep inner peace comes only with the release of resistance to what already is, and the end of seeking what is not. That is at the basis of our sense of separation and isolation. Take a deep breath. Okay. Hope you feel okay. So as a summary, I could say, whenever there is fear, there's also resistance to your experience. Basically, it's a thought arising that basically says, I don't like what is, I don't want it. There's the resistance that creates our fear and suffering. All we need to do is realize that that is just another thought. Don't get caught up in another thought. Look for the I that doesn't like it without referring to thought. That's the trick. That's the tricky part. Look for the I, the sense of me that doesn't like it without referring to thought. That's the essence. Because that one that doesn't like it are concepts, ideas, beliefs, identifications, roles, you name it. This is not who you are. So you realize that I am not my thoughts. I am that which is aware of my thoughts or feelings or sensations. I am that. I am. So next time you are triggered, you're not at peace, and you say to yourself or someone else, I am fearful, I am upset, I'm triggered, I am this or that. Well, is that really who you are? You pause, you become mindful, and you stop and you pause after the first two words, I am. This is the only true essence of your statement. You are aware and you're present. I am aware presence. You could stop there. Powerful reminder. So this I am knows or is aware of an experience that is arising in your awareness. And that experience is made of perceiving, hearing, sensing, smelling, tasting, and so forth. Sensing and feeling, the body, thinking and imagining, the mind. That's your experience, which is known by awareness, which you call I. So, and you're labeling the experience fear or feeling upset. But the truth is, it is made of awareness. And knowing is its substance, the I am. So again, as a reminder, is the content of your experience changing? Yes, obviously. Is awareness itself changing? No, it is not. If you deeply investigate, it stays, it is ever present, it is out of time, out of space. So that which is always changing is not what you are. That which never changes is what you are. Be that knowingly. It takes practice. It takes pausing, mindfulness, being at rest, acknowledging what is happening without getting all entangled in new ideas and experiences or descriptions or excuses. And you can say to yourself, I could see peace instead of this. It takes practice, 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 practice. So have fun. Thank you for listening and see you soon.